in knowing what is going on and knowing how our politicians are tricking us into believing that this is an advantage to this working class community.
E por isso eles decidiram construir incinerador mesmo à beira de uma área densamente, portanto, uma área densamente populacional, que é esta área aqui do Ironbound. Eles decidiram quase por sua vontade própria e hoje aqui eu vou tocar apenas em vários aspectos, não em todos, porque mais pessoas irão falar, porque é conveniente para eles que o incinerador seja aqui construído.
So they decided that in this county of 880,000 people, they would make this the dumping ground for the whole county. The effects are almost measurable now. In the first place, our roads will be wrecked. Second, they'll be the English language as well, because many of us are not yet registered voters, because very few of us have a lot of money. Therefore, they said, let us put it here, and we can stifle the people's voice. I'm here to announce and here to say that in this turnout tonight, it shows that the people of this community will not put up with this injustice. And so I ask you, brothers and sisters, to fight against this incinerator. We're fighting for our children, we're fighting for our future. And don't let the politicians of any kind fool us. There are good politicians and bad politicians. But in this community, there is a plot to move people out, to pollute this atmosphere, and to have their way in this great vaccine. We're not going to allow this to happen.
Como sabem, o dióxido é um químico que se chama agente laranja e que foi usado na última guerra em áreas do Vietnã em que nunca mais irá nascer nada, crescer nada verde, nada de nenhumas plantas. E é isso que eles nos querem contaminar aqui. Só porque eles pensam que meia dúzia de pessoas não sabem falar inglês, só porque eles pensam que meia dúzia de pessoas não estão registados para votar, só porque eles pensam que meia dúzia de pessoas, mas muito poucas, têm algum dinheiro, eles pensam que podem ir contra a nossa vontade e levar em frente essa injustiça. A nossa presença hoje aqui é, pois, para vos dizer que essa luta não está terminada, é, pois, para vos dizer que vale a pena e iremos continuar a estar livres, porque não há incinerador algum que irá ser construído no Ironbound.
Victory will be ours.
And there's a couple of ways in which we're urging people to help us in fighting this incinerator, and we'll be speaking more about it later on. But just quickly, we're having a dinner dance next Saturday evening at O'Campino's. Tickets are $30 a person, and they're for sale on the back table. We need to raise money in order to fight this incinerator, and that's one of the ways we're doing it. The other thing we'd like to announce is that on the ballot this November are two public questions which would give money for the garbage incinerator. Public question 2 and public question 4. We have flyers in the back. We're asking people to help us distribute, to urge their friends and neighbors to vote no on these two public questions. Now I'd like to introduce Malin Hoffman, chairperson of the statewide movement opposing garbage incinerators smoke. Malin Hoffman.
Thank you. I'm here tonight to tell people in Ironbound that you are not alone in your fight against this garbage incinerator. All over the state of New Jersey and around the country, where garbage incinerators are proposed, people are fighting back and saying, no, we don't want them.
Hoje estou aqui para vos dizer que nós não estamos sozinhos aqui no Ironbound a lutar contra o incinerador, por todo o estado de New Jersey e por todos.
In Edison, New Jersey tonight, they're having a large public meeting with Dr. From New York to talk about the dangers of garbage incineration. In Trenton, people are fighting back against an incinerator there. In Rahway, people are fighting against an incinerator proposed there. And outside of Atlantic City, communities are fighting back.
Esta noite não somos só os amigos.
People are fighting because they know that building garbage incinerators is not going to be a solution to our garbage problem. They know that building garbage incinerators is very, very expensive. They know that garbage incinerators will pollute the air.
Por isso, continuar.
In fact, these garbage incinerators are so expensive that the state is actually asking us to pay for them. Public questions 2 and 4 on the ballot will have us paying money to construct these large incinerators.
Or even the people who were fighting the hardest against us, who were fighting the hardest to build this incinerator, they know that they're wrong.
Por isso é uma prova daqui que as pessoas que são pagas para nos dizer, para lutar contra nós, para nos dizer que realmente estes estão errados, ou melhor, nós estamos errados, que estes estão certos, estes sabem que estão a mentir, estes sabem que estão errados. E prova disso é que ele realmente desistiu do trabalho que tinha.
Okay. What I'd like to speak about for the next couple of minutes is a very different kind of issue. For the last 2 years or so, what we've been talking about is the environmental problems with garbage incinerators. Tonight, what I want to talk about is money.
As últimas reuniões que nós temos tido, e estas há um tempo para cá, o que nós temos lidado, ou o que eu tenho explicado, é o problema ambiental, o problema da poluição de todos os géneros.
It's going to raise the taxes of every other town in Essex County by a lot of money from the day that they start to build it.
O funcionário que foi eleito, que é o primeiro do condado de Essex, que é o Sr. José Caldeira.
Thank you very much, Arnold, and good evening to everyone. And as Arnold indicated, from the beginning of our fight, from the time I was elected by you to represent this area on the County Board of Freeholders, my thinking and my voting has been very much consistent with the wishes of the people that I was elected to represent. Because this, in fact, is representative democracy. And not only will reflect your wishes and your thoughts, but I happen to very strongly agree with you in terms of the siting of the garbage incinerator here in the Ironbound section of Newark. We have not been as successful as we would like to be right now, but as you know, your elected representatives, myself representing you on the county level, and of course Hank Martinez at the city level, have been vehemently opposed to the selection of this site. And I've said, and I've said it consistently throughout, even if the plant is environmentally safe, and I don't believe it is as they say it is, that's the experts, we don't need that type of facility here for a lot of reasons. And I don't want to be redundant and go over all the things we've been experiencing as it relates to the environment over the past couple of years. We talked about the truck traffic. We talked about there is perhaps a distinct possibility that we may have to start accepting solid waste and garbage from other parts of the state. That's something that, I could never, and I'm certain Hank could never accept. But we've lost a couple of rounds. The fight is not over. We still have the ability to make the necessary moves to perhaps stop. Even if we cannot totally stop the project, we know in fact if this thing is ever going to be constructed, it's probably going to be to a point where it's going to be such a state-of-the-art facility that perhaps the cost would just be so exorbitant that they will have to choose another site. But this is done by organization, it's done by keeping the issue alive, it's done by meeting, and as indicated before, it's done by raising funds for the litigation, and it's very costly to fight something of this magnitude, because you're not only fighting the county of Essex, you're fighting the Port Authority. And I'm here tonight to simply state that I've been requested to speak, I'm very happy to speak, and also indicate my full support for whatever legal actions the Ironbound Committee Against Toxic Waste will take with regard to the stopping of this incineration construction here in the Ironbound. Again, thank you very much for allowing me to talk.
Good evening. I'd like to thank everyone for the opportunity to speak. On behalf of the Congress of Portuguese American Educators, a group of teachers statewide, but many of whom teach in the Ironbound schools, I'd like to express our support in your efforts and to let everyone know that we stand right alongside you in whatever you need to do. In the past, we have made our voice heard at the City Council meeting, while previously a number of reasons have been decided against the incinerator. We have three particular concerns that annoy us. Number one, how can this county come to us and tell us that the Ironbound is the best site for an incinerator? When you consider our population, when you consider the already existing traffic congestion, just drive down Ferry to find out. And when you consider the already existing pollution, how can they say that this is the best site for it? Number two, studying the county's proposal, there are certain things called designated routes. Two of those designated routes pass directly in front or close to two of our elementary schools in this ward. It's bad enough that in some of our schools, teachers have to stop while the airplane flies overhead. Now they'll have to stop while the garbage truck passes by the street. What benefit are your children getting? Lastly, we have heard many studies cited. I'm sure Mr. Cartwright has presented the facts to the county, and from what I can see, the county is not listening too well. What if this thing gets built? What about the pollution it puts out? When are we going to react to that? Is it going to be the first time one of my youngsters walks in to my health office complaining of stomach aches? Will it be a year after he has been there on a daily basis? Will it be 10 years? Or when? We as a group of educators particularly object to this proposal. We will stand with you. We will go with you all the way. That's our commitment to you. That's why we're going to stand.
The news is that if you remember back to last year, the county and the politicians, they wanted to start to build the incinerator last year. But because we all came out and we all worked together, and we're all fighting to stop it because we know we're right, they haven't started to build that incinerator. And if we continue to fight together, and we continue to work together, and that means in the streets, and that means attending meetings like this, and voting the right way, and telling your friends to vote the right way, and having all of us work together, we can prevent this incinerator from being built. The reason we're winning the fight is because, as we all know, the air pollution in the Ironbound area is already so severe that any more pollution would be life-threatening. Now, our politicians who want to make money off of this project, they are going to try and go ahead and build this incinerator anyway, even though they know it can't comply with the laws of the state of New Jersey. The reason it can't comply with the laws of the state of New Jersey is obvious to everyone who lives in the Ironbound and obvious to everyone who breathes, because the